Hello and welcome back to First Gen Den. It is still me, Tyler Moore, and happy July. So, as we're kind of starting to go through this week is actually going to be a little bit shorter after the quite long-winded video last week, and we're going to talk about some campus jobs this week. Before we do that, before I go into like my little life update, I wanted to clarify. Reading through some of the feedback forms, I wanted to make sure it was clear that it's not like you as first gen students aren't getting sent out the same information as everybody else. Like all students are getting the same thing. The purpose of this program is to just really try and bridge that gap that first gen students have where, maybe other students have, parents or siblings that may have like already gone to college and have been through the routine and kind of know what to expect. And this program is to try and, be there for you and answer those questions and kind of dispel a lot of those fears so that when you move on to campus, you're ready, prepared, and can just go absolutely, destroy all your classes and earn your degree. But outside of that, you can see it's pretty sunny in Chattanooga right now. We are actually now in Georgia, so just literally a half a mile south of Tennessee, and it's pretty nice. It has been like monsooning down here the past couple, probably weeks at this point, where it just feels like it's always raining. That's always a lot of rain. So we've definitely seen a couple flash floods, but it's beautiful out right now. Unfortunately, the sun is at a really poor angle for where I'm standing, but it's been great. I'm looking forward to the weekend, so I'm trying to get this video out a little bit earlier. One, to get myself back on track, and two, because my camper mate and I are going to be heading to Nashville for the 4th of July and all the celebrations there. So really looking forward to that. But yeah, let's get into campus jobs. All right, so the first concept that I think that I want to talk about with like campus jobs is the concept of work study. So work study can refer to the actual job itself. Like if you work in the library, that could be a work study job. But for the purposes of this video, whenever I say work study, I'm going to be referring to the portion in your FAFSA. So the federal student aid, whatever acronym that is, you can actually put a portion of that. You can indicate that you would like a campus job, and it will, kind of give you funds for working. And what this means is that if you are hired for a job, employers could either pay you with like their department budgets. So one of the departments that I work for is EIT, so Enterprise Information Technology. I set up speakers and stuff. More on that later. That I am paid through just normal department budget. But then I also work in the Office of Student Activities, and that I get my federal work study funds for. So to check that, go to your FAFSA. If you have not done that yet, you should do so soon. It will make college a lot cheaper for you. So hopefully your high schools reach out to you about that. So if you see me looking off to the side, I'm looking at some notes again. I want to make sure I hit all of the terms on this. But yeah, also if you did not indicate that you wanted like student loan or the work study, then you can still get a job without it. Like I know like the SRC, which again we'll get to more of these jobs later. They have like a specific number of people that they're willing to just like pay out of pocket for, and just because it comes out of their budget, there's only so many workers that they can support on that at a time, so it has to balance. So it is a little bit harder, but it's not like a deal breaker or anything. But yeah, so in order to get the jobs, the main ways that I've seen is when you're on campus, you may see like different flyers, advertisements, all of those kind of things. So keep an eye out for those. Or ahead of time, the way that I actually got a job before classes even started, my freshman year, was through Handshake. If you don't know what Handshake is, I recommend that you kind of look into it a little bit. It's linked on campus groups. You should have a link to that, assuming they are still doing like your pre-college checklist on there. Handshake is basically, if you know what LinkedIn is, it's kind of something similar to that, but it's like the college's platform for connecting you to employers. But like campus employers can also be on there. So a lot of times they'll post positions on there, and you may get emails as well. I know that's how I, decided to do the student activities job. But really the one that you have to like kind of sign up for to keep going is the Handshake one. Everything else will kind of just be information brought to you. Handshake is the only one you have to seek out. Either way, you should still create an account for that ahead of time. I also believe that the best time to get a campus job is at the beginning of the year when everybody is hiring. So trying to get a job in the middle of the year is difficult because they may already have staffs filled out, schedules done, and it makes it a little bit harder to kind of jump into that. But if you get on top of it as soon as you get to campus, it makes it a lot easier. But it, again, is not like the only way of doing it. So I've actually not started any of my like traditional campus jobs on time. Like I interviewed and got my position with EIT before classes even started, but they were waiting for the seniors to graduate and to train me a little bit later, so I didn't actually start that until January. But I still had the job secured and all that. And then my union work study that I was talking about, I actually started this past spring quarter, so it is possible. You just have to go out there and look, and it just makes it a little bit harder to find those. But if you start early, you can just kind of settle into something and go for the rest of the year. Next important thing I wanted to talk about, pay. So you just kind of clock in and clock out as you would as a normal job and set your hours. There's in Bannerweb, which is one of the platforms that the university uses, which you'll learn a lot more about when you get there. I can cover it a little bit if you all want, but you just log your hours there, submit your pay, and campus minimum wage is $10 an hour. So pretty solid money. Not anything crazy that'll get taxed too much, but nice spending money is the kind of way that I like to look at it, especially because I'm going out for dinner every Saturday with the residence halls and other things that I like to do with friends and such. Yeah. The nice thing about work study jobs, though, see there, I use a term how I said I wouldn't, is you actually get to do homework while doing the jobs for the most part. They understand that everybody's a student, and they try and give you those opportunities to still get work done and help out whatever department you're working for while still getting the homework done. A lot of times if it's not a job that lets you do homework, it is higher waged. For example, one of the hottest positions on campus is an SRC employee. So they sit at the desk of like the weight room, kind of the front desk giving out equipment, and are a resource if somebody needs something from them. A lot of time, not really, they're just kind of there, and they just sit there, grind out a lot of homework, and get paid to do so. However, positions like the EIT one that I've talked about, I set up different speakers for events across campus, which I think is really fun. And actually, we are hiring, so if you're interested in that, reach out to me and I can get you connected and we can train you for that. You don't get to do homework as much because you're like running the events that you're going to be at normally. Like the homecoming pep rally this past year, I was just sitting there mixing the sound for it. It's a lot of fun, but most of the time you can get homework done for it and it will fit your schedule. So I know it's scary to take on a job initially, but all of the employers do understand that you are students and homework comes first. Like you did not come to Rose to work at the SRC. You came to Rose to get a degree and all of that. So you can adjust hours, you can be flexible. You can, quit if you need to. Nobody's going to hold it against you. You can just be like, it's hard managing homework and all that. I just need to drop something, and unfortunately it's this. And they'll understand. And then somebody else will, probably fill that hole. Like everybody's always looking for just a little extra work study, and it's usually a couple hours a week. I think I did 6 for student activities this past quarter, and there were people that did like significantly less than that. So just a little bit as you choose with that. So next, I kind of want to talk about some of the example positions. So the SRC, that is a big one everybody wants to go to. That usually has a waiting list, so you might not be able to get that as a freshman, but look into it. Next, the union student activities, you just kind of tend to set up different setups for events happening in the different union rooms. Very easy. I've enjoyed it. The people are always pretty cool, and Tracy Crosby is awesome to work with. Different small desk jobs, so you could find those different departments. Like I know I'm always in student affairs for residence life, and they have people working the front desk there that just kind of assist how it's needed. Those aren't as large scale, but you can find those as needed. Next one I thought of was IM refs. So intramurals do need referees, and they are supported. So you'll get trained. I don't really truly know how their schedules work, but if you do like sports, that's a good option because it does pay a little bit more because you're giving up more of your night. EIT, again, if you're interested in kind of like setting up speakers and have like in background and sound, please reach out to me. Like we are looking at, like, you can get hired with that. Residence life, so the sophomore advisor position is paid, and you can use work study for it or not. You're going to get paid either way. Different summer programs. So the past couple of years, I've done Operation Catapult, which is a summer program for incoming juniors and seniors in high school. So you get paid for that. A little bit with training ahead of that time for that. There's a couple other summer programs. Even something like this is, potentially an option for you one day. Next up, the Learning Center. So inside the Logan Library downstairs, they kind of have different tutors that can help different students. You can work desks down there. Ask Rose is another option. If you didn't know, Rose Holman has a homework help hotline where you can call and people still in, I guess, primary school, so kindergarten through senior year of high school, can call and get help on different STEM topics. So you could work and be an operator there to help out. The library front desk always has people working there. So if you like books and have always kind of wanted to work in a library, you have an opportunity there. I don't know if Dr. Forbes has any extra information on how that process works, but again, be on the lookout for everything with that. And then on some of the more academic sides, you can be a grader for the class. So fall quarter, of course, you're not going to do it. But if you do well in a class, you might get referred by a prof to be a grader or a TA for that class, or you could just apply anyways. At least the CSSC department sends emails out every quarter being like, hey, apply here if you're interested in something, and we'll reach out. So if you enjoy academics, that's another option. And you can also be an SRT, which is a sophomore resident tutor. And these are tutors that are juniors or seniors that live in the sophomore floors to help them with sophomore specific classes, which are a lot of times, difficult. Like this is your first real shot into your domain of whatever engineering domain you have. So those are there. Again, that's not on the horizon for you, and y'all don't have to worry about SRTs too much early, but those are options. So a last few things that I wanted to say on the campus jobs aspect. Usually it's a low time commitment. Everybody understands that you're a student. Like nobody's going to force you to work some crazy hours. You're not going to work 40 hours a week. Like that is unreasonable. I always appreciate the extra spending money of just something to do. I don't really have to worry financially. Like, yeah, it's taking a little bit of time out of my day and I might sleep a little bit less from it, but it just helps me find ways to relieve stress a lot easier. So I find that worth it for me. And then finally, if you are planning on getting a job on campus, I would try and have your social security number and driver's license or like identification with you when you get to campus. Just because of tax information, they're going to ask you for that, and it's significantly easier if you just have that already put aside and ready to go when you get going for that. So granted, that is like something that happens at most jobs, like that you go to like internships, like when you need to get on payroll, they're going to usually ask you for those things. But they may have changed that process, but expect that to be the case. So yeah, I know that was a lot of information, but hopefully you have everything that you need for making some extra cash on campus this next year. But yeah, I was Tyler Moore, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of y'all next week and telling you how Nashville was. See ya.